Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Yet another faction down. We've officially completed the Dwarf faction, getting all 63 stars done. And this is going to be a guide showcase on what I did to beat it and pretty much the entire run on how I did it. So I'm going to do a walkthrough on the actual gameplay as well as showing you the gear and masteries that I use with the champions. So let's get right into it. Alright, so for the Dwarf faction, it's definitely one of the harder factions in my opinion, but they have definitely added a lot of champions to help with the reviving with the Melga and whatnot, but I did not use Melga for this particular fight. I went with whatever I had available that I had leveled up, and I try to gear them with whatever I had on my other champions that I'm rotating around with the Mortal set, the Lifesteal set, the Regeneration set. I would say those are three of the best gear for Faction Wars in general, but what we went with here is going to be Demetha, Geomancer, Mountain King, Goffred, and Rearguard Sergeant. So these are not necessarily free-to-play champions, but again, this is from my free-to-play account, and this is a showcase on how I did it as a free-to-play player. So maybe you don't have these particular champions, and I do want to, I guess I'll try to throw out some other ones that could be replaceable or some other options you guys have. But Demetha is going to be a nice way to cheese a lot of it too, because of her block damage. Now, she doesn't put it out for 2 turns like a Man-Eater would, right, to have the unkillable. So you kind of have to time it by going last if you can. So I try to make her pretty fast to lap around the opponents twice, the waves at least, so that she's always ending on that block damage, so that we're able to mitigate all that damage, right? So Demetha's providing the block damage, and I do have her in Lifesteal set, and she's at 57,000 HP. For this stage right here, for the boss fight, the boss is going to be ignoring your defense. So if you can, you want to try to stack HP as much as possible on your champions. So that is what I tried to do. And again, I did utilize the block damage whenever I could, but we did have some heals along the way too. So Demetha is going to be providing heals, the block damage, the also she puts out some shield here. Yeah, some shield here, I guess, right? On herself. So Demetha is going to be providing the block damage, some heals, and some increased the buff of herself, and also I guess a little bit of a cleanse. Well, not really a cleanse. She's reducing your the duration of one of your allied debuffs by 1 turn. But pretty much she's just there to help us try to stay alive, and she's going to be tanking a lot with their HP as well. 57,000 HP is quite a bit, and the defense here 2400, and again the speed I did make her a little bit fast intentionally. Accuracy I don't care about at all. And for the masteries here, so she is my clan boss Demetha, but I did have to take her out of that gear to make her into this gear. But she's using the same masteries from the clan boss, and that's pretty much it for her. The next champion, now Geomancer is the ultimate, he's arguably the best epic champion in the game, right? He's just like an ultimate boss slayer. He's really good. Helps you mitigate a lot of damage as long as the HP burn is on that particular champion, right? Placed by him. So the reflect damage, or deflect damage, not reflect. Deflect 30% of the damage is huge when you have it for the passive right here. And she's also going to be depleting the turn meter of the champion that he places this on, as well as putting an HP burn, the weaken, and the deplete turn meter is huge. It's really handy as well. And his A1 particularly is an AoE hit that decreases the accuracy. So if you want to throw him in a stun set, you could do that too. And I pretty much left my Geomancer in my regeneration gear, because I mean that's one of the best sets for faction wars in general. Yeah, but A2 he also has the remove buffs from the target, which is really nice and handy as well, especially if you're trying to remove that unkillable buff that you'll see a little bit later. But yeah, I do have him in regeneration set, and 47,000 HP, 2,000 defense here, 199 speed, and I do want to make sure I have at least 200 accuracy on the Geomancer here. So for the masteries, so these are the masteries I went with for him, and again, he is pretty much my overall PvE champion build right now. Yeah, I guess like mainly for the Iron Twins and whatnot, but he's not really using my clan boss at the moment, so I just try to build him in regeneration set anyways. Alright, next is Mountain King. Now Mountain King is going to be, his damage is going to be based off of his HP, so you are going to be building him with a lot of HP, which is really nice, right? So he's going to have 86,000 HP, 166 speed. He's not crit capped unfortunately, but it is what it is. I kind of went with whatever I had, I guess. I guess I should have crit capped this for sure. But the accuracy doesn't matter here, resistance doesn't matter here. And I just wanted to go as much as he could. I don't have him booked at all. And for the masteries here is, yeah, pretty standard PvE mastery. I guess this is more like a clan boss mastery right here, this part, but he doesn't need the support section, so it doesn't matter. Alright, for the next champion here, I went with Goffred. Goffred is really nice. He's got the AoE stun, right? That's super handy. I don't have him booked, so I have to pray that these lands on most champions. But he also has an increased defense here that's helpful along the wave fights, right? It's not going to help you against the boss, but this is pretty much what I kept him for the wave clearing. And for the A1, which is also handy, provoke more CC, as well as a defense down, right? Which is huge. And also his passive. If an ally is about to get killed by a fatal hit, blocks incoming damage and places a block damage on them for 1 turn. Now in my fight, I don't think I ever had to utilize this once, but it was there as like a fail-safe just in case, right? For the Masteries here, I just booked them, or not booked them, I did master him a little bit so I can get the extra crit rate and crit damage on him. And for the stats here, I do have him in Relentless, and you can see this, guys. Pretty much like, not really ideal, right? I guess like not the best gear on him, but it's going to be enough. So we got him at 195 speed, not that great defense. He is based off of defense damage, and HP 36,000, which is pretty low. 219 accuracy to make sure I can land my debuffs. And he's not crit rate, or he's not crit capped on the crit rate or the crit damage, but his job was to CC the waves and also the defense down, and that's pretty much it here. Alright, to the next champion. I think this champion, okay, besides the Geomancer, I really believe Rearguard Sergeant is a huge MVP in this faction in general, because she provides like, so much utility to the table. She's got the defense down, she's got the attack down AoE, and she's also got an ally protection along with continuous heals. So really nice champion to have alongside your roster here for a clan boss in general, but especially faction wars. So I do have her in regeneration set too, and I try to focus on accuracy as well because I want to make sure I can land those debuffs. So I don't have her too fast here, but she's at 169 speed, 47,000 HP, and yeah, that's pretty much all I really focused on here. Not that great of a defense either. So I do have her fully booked as well. And for Masteries, I did enough Minotaur just so I can get to here and get to this Mastery here. And if I could, I probably would have went to the Evo Eye, but it wasn't needed clearly, so that's all I really used. So I was originally using Semar in here, but he wasn't really providing much to the table because, yeah, like he wasn't really putting out much damage for me anyways because I didn't really have him built that crazy or anything. And yeah, he wasn't, kind of useless for me in this faction, like opposed to like the other champions I had available. Now, I think I did have a Melga, which would be a huge carry for this faction. I think I do have it. Yeah, I do. So Melga is a huge carry for sure. The Runekeeper is really nice too. The Fodbar is really decent as well. But I didn't have any of these champions leveled or skill booked or anything like that. So I just decided to go with whatever I already had available. So that's why I went with the team that I have. And yeah, that's pretty much the roster, guys. I didn't do auto or anything like that. I did manual the entire run, and it took about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna showcase the run now for you guys, and I'm gonna do a walkthrough with voiceover and pretty much like commentary with you guys, just so I can explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing something, and my thought process. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. And again, guys, I know it's not 100% free to play team per se, but this is on my free to play account, and yeah, it's pretty much like it's gonna be more of a showcase guide for giving you ideas on what to do on certain ways and whatnot. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, and here we go. So starting it off, I could pretty much leave it on auto, but I wanted to make sure I can target the Broadma, because he's going to be providing the resurrect as well as the increase filter meter, and he's kind of a threat. But here I'm able to utilize the stun that's from the Goffred, and I'm just going to focus on the person that's still alive, because the other people are going to have to come back around to their turn anyway. So I have plenty of time, and I just try to target the one that's awake right now. And now that she's out of the picture, I'm going back to targeting the Broadma, and I just want to eliminate him immediately. Now, the other champions here then do a lot of damage, and the Vras can definitely heal, but the Broadma has a resurrect, so if I target other people and it gets to his turn, then he's going to bring them back to life anyway, so. So it does get a little bit dangerous here, but I'm able to capitalize by just using my abilities to protect and heal and whatnot. So we're getting rid of the Broadman now, and then we can go back to focusing on the other champions afterward. Now, once I have most of the champions eliminated here, I don't really have to focus on using my abilities as much, and I can just go back to using my default abilities so I can get all my cooldowns back by the time I get to the second wave, because I want to make sure I have all my cooldowns up and ready. So like I mentioned earlier, just going to keep using my A1 abilities. Now we get to the second wave here, and I'm going to pause it for a moment. Now the two champions that are going to give us the most problem here is the Man-Eater and the Steel Skull. The Steel Skull can heal up, give everybody buffs with defense up, as well as just cleansing and whatnot. The Man-Eater, on the other hand, is going to be providing immunity plus the unkillable buff on everybody. So once that happens, once he gets his turn and he does that, it's going to take a while for me to end this wave because I have to wait until they all get their cooldowns or get back to the turns. But I think I do get to that point here if I remember correctly. But those are the two targets that I want to focus on. So I do have the A3 with the Geomancer for the Deplete Turn Meter. So I'm thinking about, do I want to use it now or save it? So I opt to use it now and decrease the turn meter of the Man-Eater. Okay, perfect. So now I stun most of the targets here. I can go back to focusing on the Man-Eater and try to down him as soon as possible. So the Norak here is kind of annoying because he does provide the AoE block buffs, but he doesn't do too much crazy damage or anything like that, so he's not really too big of a threat. So unfortunately I did let the Man-Eater get the unkillable off, which is a bit annoying, but it's not too bad because I can try to control the hits as much as possible and try to take as less damage as I can. So I did strip off the buff of the Steel Skull because he's going to continue to heal people, and now he's become my next target. The Man-Eater I don't really care about anymore because he already got his unkillable off, but the Steel Skull is the next target I want to go for. So it does look like we're in a bit of trouble here because like Garfred is taking a lot of hits, but with the block damage, with the heals, and the attack down, we can try to land after the immunity wears off, then we'd be okay. So I'd probably say the Rearguard Sergeant is a huge part of this faction because the ally protection, the attack down AoE, the defense down she provides, she's so good. Like, I think she is, man, she might be the MVP of this faction if anything. Like, I know there's a lot of really powerful Dwarves out there, but like Geomancer's insane. Obviously Demetha's insane, but just overall package wise, I think Rearguard Sergeant might be the MVP of this faction. As far as epics goes anyway. Alright, so we did eliminate the two ones that we did want to get rid of, and now we want to focus on the damage dealers. Now the far right Lizardman, I forgot the name, but he does put out some damage. The Dracomorph puts out poisons and the AoE defense down, and the weaken as well, but he's not too big of a threat, even though he does do a decent amount of damage. But the next target is going to be the Basilisk, I think the name is, whatever that Lizardman just died. So now I'm going back to focusing the other champions here, and I guess like the Dracomorph would be the next target because he's squishier, and the Norog, like I said earlier, he doesn't really do much damage anyway, so he's kind of a non-threat really. Alright, we're at the last one now, and we can pretty much just A1 him down all the way. We don't really have to use any abilities. And just try to get everything ready for the boss fight at the. Alright, now we're at the final boss here. Now for this boss fight here, we're not going to have any Azza spawn with the boss. The boss is already strong as it is, so for his A1 he's pretty simple. He just straight up ignores defense. He's going to do a lot of damage with his A1, which is why you want to build your champions with a lot of HP so you can take those hits. Otherwise, you're just going to get one-shotted if you put more defense and focus on that rather than the HP. Now for the A2, he's going to be removing all the debuffs on the boss, and he places a True Fear debuff on a one random enemy, so one of us, and he's also going to be putting a stun on everybody else. These debuffs cannot be resisted and grants him an extra turn, so basically he's going to be stunning an entire team, put a True Fear on one champion randomly, and then whichever champion that's feared is going to take that hit, which is the A1 when he takes a turn again. And for the A3, fills his champion's turn meter by 2% for every 1% of the HP they lose when attacked. This is counted from the damage taken per hit. So every time I do more damage to him, he's going to be filling up his turn meter and gets a turn in. Now for this boss fight, you're going to have to try to time all your debuffs right after he takes his turn, because once he gets his turn, he's going to do the A2, and he's not going to be cleansing himself for some time until he gets his A2 back. So that's when you do all your debuffs, like your defense down, your attack down, and whatnot. And you're also going to try to time all your abilities based off of his turn meter, and like right before he gets a turn, you might want to put out a block damage if you have that. You want to make sure you get the attack down, because that hit is super strong, and with the attack down is going to help mitigate a lot of that damage. And as I do this run here, I'm just recapping for myself to see all the abilities once again, and it's go time. So here I could deplete his turn meter, which is something I think about. Alright, so basically I had to step away to go to my dog for a second, but we're back now, and yeah, I was still debating on what I wanted to do there, if I wanted to deplete the turn meter or just go. And here I opt to just not use the, to save it basically, because he's gonna get a cleanse off anyways once he gets to his turn. And I pretty much just want to let this first turn just go. So he's not going to be stealing any of your R buffs. So that's what I'm trying to consider if I want to use Godfrey's A3 right away now, and I do with the defense up. That's going to help mitigate some damage. I'm being very cautious here because this is like my one shot, and I don't want to come back to doing this all over again. Because a lot of times when you do faction war runs, you're gonna have a lot of attempts at it, right? But sometimes you just want to try to one-shot it if you can. And this is actually my second attempt on this boss fight, I believe, before I ultimately did complete it, of course. And as you saw there, our Demetha got feared, everybody else got stunned, everybody else skipped their turn, and Demetha got the hit on the A1 from the boss. So basically from here, I'm just trying to time all my abilities to base off of his turn meter and when I want to use certain abilities and whatnot. So I'm going to let the rest of the run play out, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. And there you have it, guys. That is pretty much the end of the run. And this is, like I said earlier, this is definitely one of the harder factions in the game, simply because the ignore defense portion of the boss's ability, that's really scary, and your run can really end in a second, because once you have your champion down and you don't have any reses, then that means you're going to have to start all over to do it again to get all 3 stars. So that pretty much concludes the run. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys found it informative one way or another. And I do hope you guys got ideas or any sort of ways to help you guys out for your faction as well. And I'm going to be trying to get all these factions done before the Sylvan Watchers faction comes out. So I'll get my Lydia eventually soon. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. If you guys enjoy my content, please make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you all in the next video.